Well, it's Friday the 28th of February 2025 and it's been ages since I did a bit of the High Weald landscape trail. I'm just walking along to the station to get an early train. In fact, I began to wonder if I'd ever get back on this trail at all. Since I last filmed for this, I've been in hospital 3 times, had tests and treatment for this, that and the other, and this morning my hip doesn't feel good. Anyway, I've got to make a start sometime, so here we go. Well, back there about 1/4 of a mile is where I started, and this is where I'm going to. You think you come prepared against all eventualities, and now my nose has started bleeding for some unknown reason. Well, the nose seems to have settled down. Do you know, I think I must be old school because I still find it really surprising and unusual when I come across vineyards in the Weald. But of course there are lots of them now. Although it's been a pretty wet winter, even down in this cutting, this is a very well drained path. If, like me, you use public transport to get to and from your walks, then You can probably hear the traffic in the distance. We're just approaching the A22. It's probably 2 or 3 miles from East Grinstead, and if you turn left here, you can get back into East Grinstead. If you turn right, you can get into Forest Way, but I suspect that there is a nearer drop-off point for Forest Way, and there's a bus goes along this road in either direction at an hourly interval, so it's quite a good place to stop off if you just want a short walk from East Grinstead. I went wrong at this point and ended up in what looked like an old coal yard. The Vanguard Way comes up here, and I think goes off there, but I think I've got to go straight ahead. Yes, if you go up a small rise, it is actually clearly marked. It's a shared use path. National Cycle Network, Route 21. Now, I didn't know that most of the trees along the Forest Way are alder or willow. This is because you're in the floodplain of the River Medway. Aha! And these trees like the wet ground. Large areas to either side of the park can be flooded for weeks at a time. Oh, that tells me I'm probably actually going to stay on this trail then and not do the official High Weald path at this point. After all, it's still winter and it's been so wet lately. Oh, there's another one of these signposts. Hartfield, East Grinstead. And yes, you can get down another path to Forest Row from here. That's where I've come from. You'll see we're picking up the dog walkers again. Cyclists there. And dog walkers. I think it's going to be sensible to stay on this route today. It's extremely wet out there. I wonder if there would be any kingfishers around here. Release your inner child. Ooh, ooh. It's certainly been very wet lately. Onward we go. I've never seen a woodpecker. But it's worth listening for the sound of them. Oh, I needed this. I'm going to have a little sit down. I've even brought a ground sheet with me because I thought the bench might be wet. Yep, it was worth carrying that ground sheet. Everything you could want, really. A rippling stream, a beautiful tree, and somewhere to sit down and eat and drink. Nice bit of fence and hedge making here. I'd have never got across a valley like that. Look, it's virtually flooded all the way. Is this a ferry bridge? Sounds like trail maintenance going on up ahead. I can see some guys with saws.
Up to date, isn't it?
It's certainly more than damp off the path. Well, this is where the actual high Weald landscape rail crosses the railway. I don't know whether I've been a naughty boy this morning. I think it's the wisdom of old age saying, keep off this mud as much as you can. So that's where it goes, but I'm taking the drier route. This looks like the old Hartfield station, but there's a very thick hedge all around it. And this is clearly the edge of the former platform here. And we're back on the old track bed now. Well, I've just had probably a 20-minute chat to some other hikers who were resting on a seat. And this is an important point because this is where Weald Way crosses this old railway. And I remember coming up here when I walked Weald Way. I remember walking up here and turning my camera in each direction and thinking, one day I'm going to come back and explore this. And today is the day. So if you ever do Weald Way, you walk that way and you'll get to the English Channel at Eastbourne. And if you go that way, you'll get to the Thames and Dartford. And if you want to see my walk on Weald Way, it's on my YouTube channel at 1066walker. Type in 1066walker Weald Way and it should take you to the complete set. This looks like it might have been another station. And I'm clearly going to have to check this out with an old railway atlas when I get home. But that is definitely a platform edge. We're at the upper reaches of the River Medway. As soon as you come off the old track bed, straight on a bit of uphill. I've got a few minutes to wait for the bus, and this couldn't have been a better stop. To get me back into Thomas Rose.